is there anything that struck you that you think would be really useful for our student teams to know as they come forward for the competition? Yeah, are there things they ought to be practicing at home? Is there some special feature on their item that would make it more attractive? Is there some trick that you know that they should be aware of?
Yeah, I think one thing is if I know that uh, a lot of the students use modeling for the molten metal flow and all that good stuff. I'd like to see some finite element analysis of the sword impacting something and see
Sure.
where, like, make sure you don't have any stress risers in the corners of your tang, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Just make sure the thing is going to be strong because we're going to be hitting stuff with it, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, I it bad heat treat will get you a broken blade in the middle of the blade. Bad design will get you a broken blade at the handle.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's a good point, the heat treat. Know your material and trust it. Learn the proper heat treat for your material. We've we've seen, and I know Ben and I both made weapons that are extremely light, extremely flexible, and still are chopping through cow femurs without taking any damage.
Mhm.
So nailing the heat treat and trusting the material, you can make something very light.
Yeah.
But learn that before you cast, before you make those parts, before you finish a blade. If you can, do some testing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're not going to build parts for a submarine and go, hey, no, it's great. We just came up with this. We made it. Go put it on the boat and take it down a couple of 100 feet. You're going to test all of that stuff, and I think
Sure.
in manufacturing that's super important.
Correct.
That even with knife making, every time I try a new material, I'll make something and stress test it, chop some
Yeah.
wax some metal with it, or try to flex it or whatever. So, if you can get a piece of that material that you're going to work with and get it close to the dimensions that you're going to finish on, see how strong it is.
I wouldn't pay as much attention to the Young's modulus of the material as I would the Charpy C notch test.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you're talking about impact strength, not bending strength for a lot of the tests that we're doing, and it's a different. It's
Sure.
related, highly related, but it's a different thing. So that'll
Absolutely.
inform the material you start with.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
I wouldn't use 440C for an impact sword. I would go something tougher.
So,
Yeah.
so David, yeah, you gave some really good insight. One of the things that's changing in the modern design world is SpaceX and Anduril break every part. They no longer just model it and
Yeah.
over design it. Their strategy is as soon as I get my first rough concept design, I make it and break it. And if I
Yeah.
don't predict where it's going to break, then I don't understand the challenge yet. And if it exceeds the performance requirement by a factor of three, it's going to be too heavy to put on the rocket. So do something different.